Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Let's talk about ice fishing for a minute. Let's talk about ice fishing. You see Fish House behind me coming together. I've had a few people ask me for some of my tips and all that on how I ice fish and all that and what I do. I've had questions from, do I fish the shallows? Do I fish drop-offs? What do I use for bait? What do I use for lures? All that kind of stuff. So where do we begin? Where we begin is I keep it pretty simple. My tackle is very simple. I don't get carried away with all the salesmen and all the gadgets and all the fancy stuff that they want to push nowadays. A fish is a fish is a fish. He's been eating the same bait for since the beginning of time. So I don't get carried away with all that stuff. I have simple jigs. Sometime I'll lay them out. Not going to be today. It's cold down here today. My original plan was, and I will, is to open up the basic tackle that I do bring with me. And that's exactly what it is. Basic tackle and basic bait. Nothing too fancy there. Depends on what I'm fishing for. If I'm fishing for lake trout, then I'll have a jig that's pretty good size. I also will have some white ones and some orange ones. I think orange works really good. I think white works really good as well. And we'll get into some of that stuff down the road. I'm a firm believer in going in and knocking on bottom, especially if you're fishing for lake trout. Go down there with I rig up with a 20-ounce sinker sometimes, and then have my hook up a couple of feet from that, which would have either my jig on it or a piece of bait or whatever. But I want to go down in 60 feet of water, 40 feet of water, 100 feet of water, and knock on bottom with that 20-ounce piece of lead sinker. You'd be surprised what that can do for you. What that does, number one, it creates a vibration down on bottom, and well, you can feel if it's a rocky bottom, or you can feel if it's a softer bottom. If it's a softer bottom, sand, mud, whatever, that 20-ounce sinker is making a dust cloud down there, stirring up the bottom. And to a big lake trout, or to a big pike or whatever, they see that as a bait fish down there, getting in to get whatever they're feeding on. You know, so they're going to come in and check it out. And a foot away or 2 feet away, you've got your lure or you've got your bait fish. Well, no sense in waiting until straight to get to the bottom, the fish says, and he just grabs on his way by and gets a free meal out of it. So that's one of my trade secrets that I have done over time. As far as fishing deep holes and stuff like that, it's going to depend on the time of season it is. January, February, I'm going to fish a lot different than I fish the first 2 weeks in March. Number one, what I like to fish for in March is cusk and whitefish. But cusk will spawn in the spring, in May. I'm not May, but in March. And that's when they're going to come out of these 50-foot holes. And they're going to come up to the 10-foot shallows or the 6-foot shallows where you know there's drop-offs. So I try to find those drop-offs. Whoop, camera's doing something. Probably too cold. I don't know what that was all about. Camera's probably cold. But anyways, the cut's going to come out of those deeper holes, and they're going to spawn on your gravel bottoms and your sand bottoms. So during the summer months, while you're out there with your boat, be looking for that stuff. Be looking for that stuff. Be GPSing them spots so you can get back to them in the winter time. What I look for is like 50-foot holes, and the lake I'm on has lots of 50-foot holes. If you go around them with a boat, it's almost like it's a big bowl is all it is. So I'm looking for those big bowls. And I want to find the dead center of it. So I'll mark the dead center of that hole, and then I'll start working my way out and finding out where that drop-off is that's coming into this bowl. And that's what I'll GPS for the ice fishing. I want to set my fish house right on the edge of one of those drop-offs. That way, when I come out of the fish house and set out 5 traps, or if we got someone there, 10 traps, we're all fishing the edge of that drop-off. The bigger fish are down below, the bait fish come across, the big fish comes up and gets his meal. That's the whole point in a drop-off. The other thing is, late in the season, I think you get less oxygen in the very deep hole of the deep hole. You know, like whatever couple of feet is down there. I think that as the winter goes on, you get less oxygen down there in the center of those holes. So it's very rare for me to put a trap in the very center of a deep hole. I would avoid that like the plague most of the time. Early ice, you know, early January, you might be able to get away with that. But for the most part, I fish in 30 to 50 feet of water through most of the winter when I'm looking for lake trout and salmon. So, and same deal there. You can fish right off bottom for them, and you can fish right under the ice for them. So it's a matter of what you want to do. You know, a couple feet down from the ice is a good place to be. When I do set up for the bottom, I'm usually at least a foot to 2 feet off the bottom. Because you got to remember, a fish looks up. You know, a fish looks up. He doesn't look down. So if you put your bait down too low and a big fish comes swimming by 2 feet off bottom, he's not even going to see your bait because he's looking up. You know, his eyes go this way. So sound out the bottom with your sounder, pull your bait up to 2 feet, 3 feet off bottom, and then he can see it. You know, it's the same way when we troll. When I troll in the summertime, I mark in the bottom, but then I troll 3 to 4 feet off bottom. Enough so that when you go over top of a fish, he can see it. So yeah, I know it's common sense kind of stuff here, but that's the simple kind of fishing that I've always done. I don't get into a lot of complicated fishing scenarios. Never have and never will. You follow this channel for any length of time, you'll see. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. This is a cusk. This is what I make my fish chowder out of. This is a cusk. This is what I make my fish chowder out of. Look how wide he is. That's a nice fish. Nice fish. This is a caboose. I'm more into now, I fish for the table. So I'm, you know, I break my, I've caught so many big fish over the years. So many big salmon and so many big lake trout that it kind of falls under when is enough. You know, if it's your first big fish, then it's a great thing. But on the 50th big fish, they don't really carry the same. They don't really carry the same voila as the first one does. Or if it's a lifetime fish that you'll never see again, they don't carry the same after, you know, this many years of fishing. So I find myself more fishing for numbers, more, and especially in the winter time. A lot of fish taste so good in the winter that I find I want fish chowders, I want fish nuggets. I'm finding myself more fishing for fish that don't carry a limit. you know, like Costco, so good to eat, and a lot of lakes don't have a limit on them at all, so that allows me, the lake I am on has a 10 fish limit, which I think is perfect, and even that might be a little bit too high, because I hate to see them get fished out. Fish what you need, take what you need, but don't just kill them and not eat them. That's kind of the way I'm at. But that's when I like, you know, I go to fishing for in the wintertime is the bass, white perch, especially white perch, the pike. All these fish have no, the bass has a limit, no limit on the pike, no limit on the crappie. I did trying to figure out, I guess it's crappie, not crappie, but I think crappie fits them better than crappie. But different fish like that has no limit. Yellow perch has no limit. But in the wintertime, they're very good to eat. So it's a really good fish to put in your freezer for fish chowders, especially the fish nuggets, fish fillets, deep fried fish fillets, all of that stuff. So I find myself more fishing for that kind of stuff in the wintertime. Family fish nuggets. Family fish nugget cookout coming up. We all went fishing the other day. And here's what we came home with. And fish that I can't catch in the summer. Two fish that I really enjoy eating that I can't catch in the summer, so I go for them in the wintertime, and that is cusk. I can't catch those in the summertime, and I can't catch whitefish. Tonight's supper. Whitefish, homemade French fries. But I can catch both of those fish in the wintertime. So I target those kind of fish more so than I'm targeting the lake trout and the salmon in the wintertime. I save the lake trout and the salmon fishing. Not that I'm saying I don't do it, because I do. But I go after the cusk and the whitefish a little bit harder. If you catch a salmon, you catch a lake trout, hurrah! You know, that's kind of what I'm at. But I really enjoy eating the whitefish. They are a little bit difficult to catch, but I do go after them whitefish as much as I can in the wintertime, because hey, food, free food, and it tastes great. So that's kind of where I'm at there. But I think that covered a little bit of the tips and techniques. Glenn had brought that question up from, I forget what state he's from, but a long ways from Maine. Anyways, but so I wanted this morning while I was sitting down here, waiting on the snowstorm, and getting cold, I figured I'd go over a couple of things. And I will bring out my tackle box. It's not, I call it tackle box, little dinky boxes that I keep in my ice fishing bag. I will drag that out and show some of the lures that I do use in the wintertime for jigging. Jigging is a really good way to land fish, more so than the sleeper traps that we're all accustomed to using. Put your 5 traps in and then they kind of go to sleep. But if you're out there with a snowmobile and a jig stick, especially in some of these places, that jig stick will fill your sled with fish. I guarantee it. I do. What I enjoy with the fish house is if there's 0 degrees with 25-mile-an-hour wind, I like to bank up that fish house with snow, open up the jig hole, and stay right in there with the heater and run the jig stick. And every once in a while, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, those whitefish will swim by. And then it's perfect. In a nice warm fish house, playing with whitefish. Alrighty, you guys. You guys have a great week. I've got to get out of here. because it's freezing down here today. And camera did something funny there a minute ago. I hope it's all working fine, so we got to find out anyways.